Good evening, everybody. I wish to extend a very warm welcome to all of you, our dear participants. We acknowledge and deeply appreciate the presence of our doctors and trainers, our guests, our DTLC alumni, in fact, those who have made us make it to season 11. Thank you very much. We also wish to welcome our new participants who will be seeing how things run on DTLC, and we wish to assure you that you have actually made the very best decision. We welcome all our friends, our guests, our family members, and our friends who have joined us this evening. In Kenya, we say Karibuni. My name is Lorraine Osano, and I'll be your host for the evening. As you saw the posters coming by, either in your groups or social circles or whatever you saw it, you may have wondered what the name DTLC stands for. DTLC. Those letters stand for Diabetes Total Lifestyle Change. Yes, you heard it. The word is diabetes. And when you hear that word diabetes, does it ignite fear in you? Maybe feel like it's a death sentence? Well, this season, we shall be learning how to manage diabetes and better still, how to reverse type 2 diabetes. But to get us involved, let's have a little quiz and let everybody post what you can on the chat. Just a few quick fire questions about diabetes. And let's see if we are all together. So just a question. What is diabetes known as on the street? Or, to any lay person, what do they call diabetes? You could post that on the chat. Okay, we'll be watching. Lydia, you're monitoring. Okay, so what do they call diabetes out there? Thank you, Victor. You started us off very well. Irene, ugonjwa wa sukari, eh? Sugar disease. True. That's because it has something to do with sugar. So which organ is this in the body that produces insulin? Which organ are we talking about that produces insulin? Regan. Coming. At least I see one answer there. Rashid, thank you very much. Keep them coming. Another easy one. What problems are caused by diabetes? What can you think about? What problems are caused by diabetes? Irene, blindness, thank you. Anyone else? Neuropathy, Anita, liver disease, amputation, gangrene, kidney conditions, and the list keeps going on. So we are talking to a very woke audience, eh? They know it already. Very good. How many types of diabetes do you know? Quick fire, Rashid, out there very fast. Victor even knows 3. Wow, you'll tell us about that. Lydia Moragori knows 4. Wow. Okay. And Felix has even told us which ones they are. Felix and Anita have even told us which the 2 types that most of us on the street know about, eh? Very good. Last question. I only had 5 just to get us active. What causes type 2 diabetes? What causes type 2 diabetes? Insulin resistance. Regan, are you a specialist in that field? Insufficient production of insulin, insulin resistance. Noah, thank you. Nice to see you. Okay, and keep them coming. Insulin resistance. Okay, very good. So you know quite a bit about diabetes. Those are just quick facts. As we continue, our experts will help us to learn more about this disease, but more importantly, how to manage, control, and even reverse diabetes. Reverse diabetes, that's the goal, eh? Interesting. Thank you very much for your comments. Now, as we sit there, many of us may be affected in some way by diabetes. Maybe it's yourself or it's a family member. And so it becomes very personal. And for me, that's what it is. I've been affected by it because a few of my family members have diabetes or are living with diabetes. And it is good to be concerned because according to the International Diabetes Federation, that's IDF, in Kenya, the prevalence of diabetes is 3%. And that's quite a big number in the older population. And some even have as high as 5. So let's take the average that they're giving us, 3%. Big number, eh? And as we grow older, the risks increase even more, and hence the need for us to be concerned. However, if we are living with diabetes, then I saw something interesting somewhere. It says diabetes is not a choice, but we can choose to fight it with courage and resilience. So how do we do that? Being on this program, this season of DTLC will help us to know how to fight diabetes with courage and resistance, and just generally to understand, to get education about the disease. Now, DTLC, that's what we talked about, where all of this meets, where we all get to learn, and this season especially about diabetes. What is DTLC? Why DTLC? And there's no one better to answer that than the founder and brainchild behind this wonderful program. And so we wish to welcome Dr. Alice Ojwang to talk to us about the DTLC program. Welcome, Dr. Ojwang.
Thank you very much, Ms. Lorraine. I appreciate the evening. I'm glad everybody is here. And before I go on to tell you more about DTLC, I'd just like to, just motivate you a little bit. Like today, we stand at the beginning of something truly powerful, and people who have been on this program will tell you. This is the launch of season 11 of the Diabetes Total Lifestyle Change Program. This is not just another program. It is a movement of hope, a movement of change, and a movement of life. You'll get to see people achievements. Since 2022 or 2021, I have seen so many people change their lives. I've never in my life as a dietitian reversed a kidney condition, but in this program, somebody did reverse their kidney condition from almost 39, we call them EFGR to normal. That is like very low. So for many people, a diagnosis of maybe type 2 diabetes, a diagnosis of cancer, a diagnosis of kidney feels like the end of the road. And because of all the pictures you've always been given is somebody will get amputation, will get an eye problem. And unfortunately, people sit there waiting for this. But you know what? We are here to declare something different. Diabetes remission is possible. We have seen it over the last 10 seasons. With the right choices, with the right support, with the right community, we can reclaim health, strength, and purpose. So we don't have to live long enough to suffer from complications. We don't have to live long enough to sell your land to go for dialysis. We don't have to live long to, leave your property in debt and in, devastation because just watching somebody go through the complications. The journey you're beginning together is not easy. Change is never easy, but every step you take, choosing the right foods, making time for exercise, managing your emotions, staying connected brings you closer to freedom. Freedom from medication and freedom from fear. Freedom to live fully. And this is what we do at DTLC. And I've done this for so long that I am confident. I can tell you that if you do, as we say, you will lose weight. You will have better control of your diabetes. Not everybody will reverse, but we've had seasons where we have 48%, 50% of the participants reverse, but everybody always has some kind of improvement. That is the confidence that we have. And remember, food is medicine. Lifestyle is power. And you're the one in control. So our work here is to support you to get this. So just know that whatever condition you have, autoimmune condition, cancer, diabetes, you're not alone. Look around you. Every person here today is in the same journey. Some are here to support their family. Some are here because they actually have this condition. And yes, together we will cheer each other on, hold each other accountable, and celebrate each victory, no matter how small it's going to be. So let this launch mark the start of your transformation. So don't be here alone and you know somebody who's living with diabetes. Don't be here alone and you have colleagues who have diabetes. Be here with a friend, be here with somebody who you can help. So when you feel discouraged, remember that others before you have walked this road and found success. So we want you to be a success. And this is a movement we want. And we're looking for funding so that this can help everybody in this country and beyond. And today we have people from different countries. We have Zambia, we have Europe, we have US, we have Kenya, and others from East Africa. You will all succeed because you are going to work together as a team. So let's go forward with courage, with determination, and with joy, because remission is not a dream. It is real and it is waiting for you. So I'd like to officially welcome you to DTLC Season 11, and let's make history together. Every season, there is something interesting that comes out. In some seasons, apart from diabetes, we find that some people had children. In some seasons, somebody had diabetes, but they had cancer. The cancer went into remission. In another season, there's somebody who, she's here, one of our champions. She had a condition, and last week or 3 weeks ago, she revealed that her voice, because of DTLC, she was able to recover her voice, and now she's back to work. So we get surprises, but because we do the right thing. So thank you so much for being here today. I am happy to be your host. I'm happy that this program works, and I'm happy that we are going to learn something together. So I'm going to now share my slides, and I'm going to tell you something about DTLC. Okay? What is it? What is DTLC really? And yeah, so let me just do that right now. And please note that you can use the chat to post any questions, to post any comments, and we can share that, respond to that as we go. Thank you. So diabesity, total lifestyle change program. So it's diabetes, diabesity. Where does that name come from? Because I specialize in obesity and diabetes. As long as you're overweight, if you live with that weight for many years, you are going to become diabetic, and you are going to be living with diabetes, and you will take drugs, but you don't have always to take drugs for too long. So really, one of the quotes that drive me is this quote: taking drugs without eating properly is like washing your hands and drying them in the dirt. So for a long time, this is what I've learned. This is what I appreciated. Taking drugs without eating properly is like washing your hands and drying them in the dirt. So it doesn't matter what it is you're taking. If you have low HB, you have a low immune system, you have diabetes, you have cholesterol, you have blood pressure, name the condition. As long as you're not eating properly, it's like washing your hands and drying them in that. And diet is so important. But what breaks my heart, even after maybe 27 years in practice, people still come when they are really bad. They come to look for a nutritionist when things are bad. We are trying to create awareness so that you can come to us before you get sick, so that we can prevent this long before the conditions come. So anyway, today is about the diabesity. Diabesity, because with type 2 diabetes, it's a combination of overweight and diabetes. That is why it is referred to as diabesity. TLC stands for Total Lifestyle Change Program. So total lifestyle change means we help you to change your lifestyle totally. If you never used to exercise, by week 12, you will be taking these steps. Not because we forced you to, but because we were able to help you get there. And then, of course, it's an online group wellness program. And why online? So you can do it from the comfort of your home. The program will be every Monday, 8 p.m. for 1.5 hours. And every week, we give you a program. We give you something to do. So it is a 12-week program designed to empower individuals with prediabetes, gestational diabetes, type 2 diabetes, right? And of course, like other lifestyle conditions, hypertension, cholesterol, overweight and obesity, infertility, autoimmune conditions, and more. So, but most of the time, I find that I am drawn to diabetes. So this program really would like it to be diabetes. Last season, we mixed people up, but the lifestyle program will help you. It doesn't matter what condition you have. So What are some of the activities we do at DTLC? Okay, nutrition and health education. We have different topics that we're going to talk to you about. So if you're diabetic, there's glucose monitoring, there's managing your medication, there's podiatry, and of course stress management, and lots of nutrition and other health topics. Patient monitoring and evaluation. We monitor your weight, we monitor your health. I'll show you all that, but we monitor you so we can support you. Every week we have a challenge. We have something that you're working on. And then, of course, we answer your frequent questions and we provide nutrition information in terms of books and also in terms of videos. So this is the team, but you're going to meet them. They're all here. So how the program works, we meet on Zoom like we're meeting today. And once we finish here, there's any question, you put it on the group. So we've already created a DTLC support group, which now we're going to use it to track food. You have to post your food pictures, and these food pictures are going to help us track how you're doing, and is going to help us to educate you. You can see these are food pictures, but these are after people have learned. If we show you before, you can see too much carbohydrates, and you will learn this as we go on. So we use the WhatsApp group for food tracking. So we want you to take your food pictures, because I'm not going to prescribe you to eat this and eat that before we see what you're eating. I'm not going to tell you do this and do that before I see what the problem is. So the food pictures help us to identify what the issues are. And then we have the blood sugar post, and this is definitely if you're comfortable putting it on the group, but we also give you a tracking. We can use an app which we can share with you, or we can give you paper handout which you can print, and then you put your blood sugars, you measure them, fasting blood sugar, 1 hour after meal, 2 hours after meal, and then when we meet, we interpret that sugar so that you know what your sugar actually means. What's important is to know your numbers. And of course, your numbers for your blood pressure as well as your weights. Then we also have a fitness app that we use. So this fitness is called Pacer. So we install it, but we create a link. And this link means that you can see everybody's step in the group. And that motivates us a lot. So you're able to see the steps, everybody's steps in the group. So you can see some people who are getting up to 30,000 steps in a day. And some people are getting 23,000 steps. So people try. So it's working, but we track. So when we see your steps, people who are doing very well motivate all of us. Somebody who's not doing well is going to motivate it. Oh, let me try at least. But nobody has ever given up before that. And then, of course, we'd like you to do some blood tests before you join us. If you're living with diabetes, you need your HbA1c. You need your kidney function test. Sometimes we need inflammatory markers, so we know, because with your diet and lifestyle, inflammation is a problem. It's a huge, huge problem. So we'd like to know that. And hemoglobin test. As we are in our 50s and late 50s and 60s, there's always a problem. What is your HB? HB tells us a lot about your health and also your inflammatory markers. So that's important. So why the group wellness? Why the group wellness? So over the years, I managed people, individuals, one by one, but one by one is, people come, you give them 3 sessions, they feel they've gotten a lot, they disappear. So it's only me and the person, or maybe their spouses, motivating. But in the group wellness, you have a community support. You have people stay motivated when they know others are on the same journey. This has been proven by evidence. Then, of course, there's encouragement and accountability to boost commitment. Then we also share learning. We have shared learning. Participants learn from each other. Like when people post their plates, You learn recipes. You learn, oh, you mean I can eat this and this, because most people think that when you see a dietitian, we are going to restrict you. You'll never eat this. But when you see me, the nutritionist posting my food, my vegetables, my protein, and a piece of cake, that's to tell you that you can have it. It's how much. You can eat vegetables. You can eat anything. Nothing is bad. It's just how much. So when we have shared learnings because people put their steps, people also share their experiences, it motivates us. And of course, when we share learning, it builds practical knowledge that feels real and achievable, and which is so true. Then, of course, motivation through being together or togetherness. Group energy inspires individuals to keep going even when it feels tough. I mean, when I was in campus, and this is not a good example, you can see there's peer pressure. When you're in high school, there's peer pressure. You do things, even you do bad things. But so it's like that. But this is motivation. So you are motivated, and it inspires you to keep going. I remember there's one of the clients, I think it's season 8 or 7 or 9. She just said that, I have been just watching people. I didn't want to join this program. But at week 6, she decided I've got to do it. And by the time she finished there, she had even stopped taking her insulin. And she only started at week 6. So the group being together inspires us. And then, of course, success stories within the group create hope and belief. And then we also usually have champions. Champions are, we pick people from the previous team who can work with you. So sometimes when you can't get me, you can't get the nutritionist, you can't get the doctor, they're there to support you. They share the encouragement. If you post something that is, worrying, they will respond to it. And so you have that support. Then, of course, accountability. Regular check-ins, WhatsApp groups, and progress sharing keep everybody on track. So it helps us to keep on track. And so there's less chance of slipping back into old habits. And this group, we don't leave it. When after the 12 weeks, it continues. It continues for life as long as we are here. So it means you should not exit the group because we continue to have campaigns, we have reunions, so we don't leave you alone when we finish the 12 weeks. And then, of course, by the end of that, we hope that you can also make some friends. So this is what we call sustainable. So lifestyle change feels less overwhelming when done with peers. Healthy habits become part of a supportive community culture. Then, of course, when this is all done, we celebrate because everyone is successful. And I tell you, it's true. Everybody is always successful. So, just to motivate you, this is Dr. Hiba's favorite quote. And it says, if you want to get something you have never gotten before, if you want to reverse type 2 diabetes, for example, you've got to do something you've never done before. So sometimes telling you to take a picture, you're 70 years, it feels like, oh, that is like what a child should be doing. No, it's very important to do that. So you've got to do something you've never done before. So you make that effort. So this is the team. You will meet them. They're all here. Thank you very much. Over to you, Miss Lorraine.
Thank you very much. We all work to succeed, as we have heard about the successes. Here and there, we may fail, but failure will never overtake us if our determination to succeed is strong enough. So that is what we're trying to build, that determination to succeed. And the DTLC program will help us. But really, how do we know? Does it really? That could be Dr. Juang's story. Let us listen to somebody who has closely worked with Dr. Juang, and that is Miss Atieno Jalango, as she takes us through a session entitled The Impact of DTLC. Miss Atieno, the stage is yours.
Thank you very much, Lorraine. I'm glad to be here, and I'd like to welcome each and one of you, every one of you who has made time to join the session. And I believe most of us who are here have made the investment to be part of DTLC. Now, we are embarking on a journey. We are we have been on this journey. For us, it is the 11th season. So for those who started with us as DTLC 1, they are also on their 11th season in the community. Now, does DTLC work? So I hope to just share a few insights regarding diabetes because our focus this time is on diabetes. Let us remember that diabetes is not just a medical condition. It is a lifestyle condition. So the bulk of diabetes is type 2 diabetes, where our lifestyles have a great impact. The choices that we make every day, from what we eat, when we sleep, whether we move or not, whether we are stressed and how we manage stress, all these play a powerful role, one, in precipitating diabetes, and secondly, in preventing and managing diabetes. Now, when we are managing diabetes, medication is important, yes, but research and real-world experience shows us that sustainable lifestyle change are the true foundation of long-term health. And this is extremely true for diabetes. So that is why Diabetes Total Lifestyle Change Program was created to empower people with knowledge, skills, and most important, ongoing support to make informed choices for better health. So, as part of the DTLC team, what we do is, one, we have diabetes education, or rather lifestyle education, through a digital platform. The other thing we offer you is a community and expert guidance. So it makes it easier for anyone, regardless of your location. We have had people from Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda, people from Europe, Germany, the UK, and even the USA. So what we do at DTLC is to ensure there is access so that you are able to take control of your health journey. As Alice has said, DTLC is more than a program. It is a movement towards self-confidence. When you have the knowledge, you're equipped with the skills, you have self-confidence. Therefore, you are able to execute self-management, you become more resilient, and eventually there is hope for everyone who is at risk of diabetes, affected by diabetes, and also other related conditions. Now, as we are preparing to launch our 11th season this week, it is inspiring to reflect on the impact that DTLC has had so far. Since 2022, we have supported hundreds of people across Kenya and beyond. And one of the things that we have noticed is more than 62% of the participants reduced their HbA1c by an average of about 3 units. That is very, very, very significant. For some people, it has meant actually going off their diabetes medication, but for the bulk of them, it has meant a reduction in the diabetes medication. Now, when you come into DTLC, we don't tell you that you're going to lose weight, but when you follow what is required, then the weight falls in place. So what we are doing is restoring the balance of how your body works. And we have found that 79% of our participants have lost more than 5 kilograms in just 12 weeks. And the impact has been greater, even on lipid profiles that have improved, on people who have had their hypertension go into remission, reduction in hypertension medication. Then there has been the impact on kidney function, as Ali said, cancer remission, arthritis remission, and even lupus also being quietened. Now, nearly all our participants report a greater confidence in managing their condition. Beyond the numbers, DTLC has helped several people save on medication costs, reduce hospital visits as they take control of the diabetes and are therefore in charge and therefore optimize their outcomes with diabetes. But most important is the improvement in their quality of life. Our digital community-supported approach is scalable and effective, especially for persons who are interested in making their lives better. So why DTLC? Why invest in yourself if you have diabetes? Remember, it is not just a health program. It is an investment in your future. When you have diabetes, the stakes are high. When diabetes is not well controlled, you can have serious complications, emotional stress, and financial strain. Anyone who has had a serious complication of diabetes can recognize what I'm saying here today. People who have had renal failure, people who have had strokes, amputations, and the list goes on. But there is hope. Why? Because DTLC offers you a proven, evidence-based pathway to better health, combining expert guidance, peer support, and the practical tools that you can use every day. So when you join us at DTLC, you're choosing an intervention that works, and you are making a choice to take charge of your health, to reduce your reliance on medication and build healthy habits that you can carry through a lifetime. So the program is designed to fit your life. That's why we are on Zoom. So wherever you are, you can always get in. And also the WhatsApp groups makes it accessible wherever you are. So I'm glad that you're ready to move on from just surviving to truly thriving with diabetes. So DTLC will be your partner on this journey. And as I end, I once again welcome each and every one of you, but I would also like to leave you with a quote. Lifestyle is the medicine that no pharmacy can sell. You will never get a lifestyle in a pharmacy, but everyone, including each and every one of you here, can prescribe it for themselves. So thank you, and you are extremely warmly welcomed to this season 11 of DTLC. Karibuni sana. Over to you, Lorraine.
Thank you very much. That was a very good speech. Sounded like you're at Unga. But we're happy to have you. Just tell us that it actually does work. So what you're telling us at Atieno Jalango is to take care of our diabetes before it takes care of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we will work on it. But even to talk about the impact a little more, let's just hear from a few people who have actually benefited from the program. And we had asked a few people to join us and, just tell us how has it been for them and how were they truly able to reverse their diabetes or at least manage it. Is Susan there, Lydia?
Yes, she is.
Okay, good. There you are.
I'm here.
Good. So tell us, how has DTLC helped you, or how did the program help you to manage your diabetes?
Well, first of all, let me thank
DTLC for having called me back to share my testimony about how you people have worked with me to this end. Well, I can start by saying, before I joined the DTLC, I had suffered for the last 10 years, diabetes type 2. It was diagnosed in 2015, and the glucose test was reading 33 millimole per liter, which was very high. I had lost weight from 87 to 75, and therefore I was very stressed. So by that time, I moved from one hospital to another in the interval of 1 week or 2 weeks. I was in and out of hospital. It gave me a challenge because I was not recovering. Every time I moved to the hospital, the medication was being added on top of the other. So I was stressed up, I suffered a lot, but meanwhile, I kept on asking whether I could be helped in one way or the other. So I met a friend, a family friend called Pamela Anyanga, who introduced me to DTLC. At that time, I even given up. I knew diabetes had already caught up with me and I was going to die. And the fact that I had a family member who had died from diabetes and I watched him dying, I knew I was the second one. So I was so worried. At the same time, as I was treating myself, my husband also caught up with me 8 years later. He also became diabetic, and that one stressed me more. So we knew we were on the deathbed. We started apportioning our properties to our children. But when Pamela came and insisted we have to talk to the DTLC team, we said let us try it, because maybe it will work or it may not work for us. So we tried, and during that one was season 9. When we joined DTLC, I was motivated by the fact that I wanted to live, both for myself, my children, and my husband. But now how? So we said, let us try DTLC. If it can help us change our attitude towards life and towards death, well and good. So we joined. Okay, after joining, I was just skeptical whether it was going to work, because it was 12 weeks training. Was I going to live up to what I was being told to do? Because there were some kinds of food that I really loved most, and those are the ones I was being told, you must check on that. Especially on carbohydrate intelligence. I came to learn what is carbohydrate, which foods were carbohydrate and which foods were not, and how to apportion all of them. So after going through the training or the program, I can say for a fact, I've benefited a lot and a lot. It has totally changed my life. I'm no longer worried. I'm not a stressed woman. I'm in control of my food and my health. And because now that it has taught me a lot and also given me a book called Diabetic Code, which I'm reading day and night, I've really applied that information to myself and my husband. Our glucose test is now ranging between 4 and 5 and 6, more, which is better than the 33 I had inside. So to crown it all up, I can say that whoever is joining DTLC today or in future, be rest assured that DTLC will change your life totally if you only keep to what you've been taught. If you apply it properly, without hesitation, without fear, be sure that if you check on your eating, your type of food, the portion you're eating, the time you are eating, and the intervals of eating that food, you will have the total life change. Therefore, I would say, thank you very much, DTLC. You've changed my life. You've saved me from the fear of death. And my husband can also testify that we are now a happy family. We are no longer in fear. We are happy together. We are no longer on drugs, but we are in good health. Thank you very much, DTLC team, for saving us.
Thank you so much for sharing your
Thank
story.
you.
We appreciate that very well. Very
Thank
much.
you. Thank you. There's no doubt, Mr. is watching you to see that you are actually saying all the
Even our
points.
skin, if you can see it, mine was pale and it was white. I was dehydrated. But now I've not applied any oil on my skin, but it is just like it was when I was a boy. It was smooth, but now it was scales. I was dehydrating. I was drinking a lot of water unreasonably, but I was always going to the washroom and emptying it. So my skin was dry, but now it is soft and it is very, very much appreciable. So I believe it is teaching us to be in control, not to be told what to do, but we have to understand what we should do by ourselves. We have been given the awareness and the knowledge.
Very good. And that's a very good
So,
point. It's the
so
education,
what I
eh?
can say lastly is that DTLC, please, forward ever, but backward never.
Thank you
Fantastic.
so much.
Thank you. And we thank Pamela for referring you as an alumni. She made it possible for you to join, and you have seen the results. Thank you very much, Mr. and Mrs. Odor. And may you keep on working on it, on your lifestyle. Very good.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Let's listen to someone else. And this time, let's listen to Lillian, who was also part of the alumni. Lillian, Lydia, is she there?
Yes, good evening.
Oh, there you are.
Yes.
Okay.
So, Lillian, I was in DTLC season 9. I'm happy to say that I gained a lot from the program. I was introduced by a friend and a neighbor, Doreen, who had been there in DTLC season 8. So when I joined, I was not very sure that I was at the right place. I even asked the team, and they told me yes, because we are talking of total lifestyle change. I had a host of problems. I've been hypertensive for many years. I was on medicine. I also have a kidney problem, which had been managed over the years. But all what was happening was I didn't with myself. So when I joined, I listened to what was being said. I knew then, after the first session, the induction session, that I was at the right place. What I can say is, at the beginning, I used to be very tired. I also have an uncoordinated heart rhythm. So going up a hill was a problem to me. These days, I do climb without a problem. I also had a problem with my sleep, sleeping sometimes 6 hours, and feeling very sleepy during the day, finding myself napping. I couldn't quite understand why, but after getting into the program, then I understood. The other thing is I used to have constant headaches. And all these, I was only taking painkillers. At one time or the other, I almost relied on better pain until I went to a chemist and they told me they were told not to sell the drug without a prescription. So I used to take paracetamol. What I've done is, after getting into the program, I tried as much as possible to follow what has been said. It was a journey. And I would say you have to be self-driven for you to keep at it. So I had to change as advised. I asked questions. The team in DTLC answered whenever I was not sure whether I was doing the right thing. And by the end of the 12 weeks, I would say a lot of my medications were reduced. For example, I began with telmisartan 80. And by now, at the end of the program, I was taking 40, telmisartan 40 milligrams. Today, as per last month, August, when I went back to the doctor, the telmisartan was reduced from 40 there is no strength of 20, so the drug was changed to an Irovel, which is an equivalent of telmisartan 20. The other drug that was reduced was metoprolol, extended release, which I used to take a strength of 200 milligrams. And now the metoprolol that I'm taking is 25. So down from 200 milligrams to 25 milligrams as per today. So I'm still trying, I'm still keeping at it. And now my blood pressure has been regulated. So I'm recording a BP of 116, 117 over 75, and a heart rate of about 80. I'm happy with that. And the doctor said that was okay. So I'm still on this journey, and I'm happy to have been in a group in season 9, where encouragement went on. People called, and whenever you could post your food on the plates, they would say, don't you think you should have done this? Don't you think it's better to do this? And we keep on encouraging each other. I'm happy. And for whoever wants to join, or whoever is present here today, I'll just tell them this is the right place to be. If you really want to change your lifestyle and to feel healthy, not a bit healthy, very healthy, then we have to keep up with these changes as we are being advised. So thank you very much. And I'm happy to the DTLC team. Please keep up with what you are doing.
Thank you so much,
so
Lillian.
much. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for sharing. Thank you.
I was
Yes.
waiting for that last part. What to tell the team, eh? That if you're
Okay.
not there and you have an issue, please, this is the best, this is the place to be. And Lillian's testimony has testified to that. Thank you so much. We have one last one from George. Let's be the gender balance, eh? So let's listen to George and hear his story about DTLC.
I think George actually spoke. He was with Susan.
Also, it's George and Susan and Lydia and Lillian.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Okay, so those were 3 in talk because it has been a very positive program. Would we have anyone with a question up at that point about the successes or the impact of DTLC? Any question up until there? Going once? If there's no question, there's a Q&A session after the next presentation. So you can feel free to type it on the chat or ask it then. But we'll be happy to field any questions so that you are sure you're in the right place. Huh? Now, today was special because as we launched season 11, we are also having session 1. So season 11, session 1. So as Dr. Zhang mentioned, every week there's something to work on, there's something to do. And so the topic today is about genes and health, genes and your health. And there's no one better to lead us through this than Dr. Zhuang, genes and your health. Welcome, Dr. Zhuang.
Okay, Miss Lorraine. Thank you so much. How comes you guys don't have questions? Eh? How comes you don't have questions? Oh, you have them, they're coming. So maybe write them so that you don't forget them. Yes, so today we are having a treat. We are having this is like take home. This is what you're going to do this week. So it's an exercise that you're going to do. And it's about your genes and your health. So I have a question before we go on to my presentation. Do you think, what is DNA? Let's start from there. What is DNA? What do you understand by DNA? And does your DNA change or not? Question 1, what is DNA? Question 2, does the DNA change or not? So now, question 1, I expect a statement. Question 2, I expect yes or no. Any posts?
Do you want us to post it on the chat?
Yes,
okay.
But you can also unmute and speak, or put your hand up and then we'll unmute you. What is DNA? Okay, maybe that's a hard question. Genetic material in living organism. Very good. Thank you. Okay, does it change Can your DNA change with your lifestyle? No. Yes. Continue. No. No. Yes. Mixed reactions. Okay. So then let's find out. Thank you so much for indulging me. So, where is it? Gene expressions. Oh, I just had these slides here. Yes, I can see. Still coming. Okay, very good. Sorry, what can you see? Okay, so let's go. So your genes and your health. I just made it simple, but it's actually what we call epigenetics. That's what I wanted to talk about. All right. So is DNA your destiny? I also need an answer to this question. Is DNA your destiny? What do you think? Just put yes or no. And then Lorraine, you can tell me because now I can see the post. Oh, I can actually see it. Yeah. Yes or no?
You can. There's a no, there's a yes, there's a no.
I wish you could try an explanation. Who wants to say something? Irene, can I challenge you? The nutritionist here, the doctor's here. What do you think? No one to take the challenge. Okay, no problem. Let's go. We learn every day. So really, many people think their DNA decides everything about their health. But is it really? The truth is your lifestyle can switch genes on or off. And that is what we call epigenetics. And this is really the definition of epigenetics. Genetics, the blueprint you're born with, for sure. But then epigenetics, the switches that control how that blueprint is used. Is it used correctly or is it used poorly? All right. So think of it as a piano. You know, there's epigenetics is the pianist deciding which keys to play. And so it can play very nice keys that are musical and soothing and nice, or they can be very loud keys that actually interfere with your your ears, you're listening and you're like, no. Okay. So somebody is writing. Okay. So let's give you an everyday example. If both your parents have diabetes, you may have a higher risk of getting diabetes. However, it will be expressed if your lifestyle is poor. So if your parents had diabetes, that doesn't mean you have to get it. But if you have a poor lifestyle, you will get it for sure. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so lifestyle can switch off harmful genes and switch on protective genes. Okay, or vice versa. So I still get confused with that word switch off. Yeah, so you can't change your genes, but you can change how they are expressed. You understand? Yes, you can't change your genes, but how are they expressed? How are your genes expressed? You know, you come from a family that have diabetes. So these genes can express full-blown diabetes or not. In other words, you come with family that has cancers, certain cancers like reproductive health cancers run in families, breast cancer, uterine cancer. So your genes can express these cancers, and your lifestyle is the one that really pushes them to be expressed. So let's say, I'm trying to make it as simple as possible. An unhealthy lifestyle can switch on genes that are linked to cancer, that are linked to diabetes, not just type 2, diabetes type 1 and 2, obesity, hypertension, heart disease, autoimmune conditions, inflammatory conditions, and you can name it. So an unhealthy lifestyle can switch on genes linked to these conditions. Even poor immune, you're always sick, all right? But a healthy lifestyle will switch off these risks and switch on protective genes that promote healing, repair, and long life. So what will switch on some of these genes, some of these harmful genes? Poor diet. But what is a poor diet? Sometimes we eat healthy food, but the quantities, the way we mix them, the timing of meals makes it poor. So it's good to sit with a dietitian and nutritionist to be able to help you to understand, am I eating healthy? Sedentary lifestyle, not having any form of exercise. You don't walk, you sit the whole day, you come home, you sleep. Sedentary lifestyle, zero activity. That is going to switch on harmful genes. Smoking and alcohol, will switch on harmful genes. For some people, some people say, oh, my grandfather smoked for many years and died at 90 without a lung cancer. Remember, genes are also individual. So it might not be the same for you. This is why we say it's lifestyle. So smoking and alcohol, you switch. And you find that some people will smoke a little and they have lung cancer. Some people will drink a little and they have. So it depends on your family. It depends on the genes. So it doesn't always have to be too much. It can just be very little, And sometimes your body tells you, those who do not tolerate alcohol, you take just a glass of wine and you're tired and fatigued for weeks. That means you're not supposed to take it. You smoke, you're sick for weeks. So don't take it. Chronic stress. And what is chronic stress? We have stress, but we don't manage it. We don't manage the stress at all. We live with it. So maybe your children are alcoholics, they're drug addicts. You are just worried full time. It's chronic because it's every day, every week, every month, you're just worried. So these ones will switch on harmful genes. So it's not just about food. It's not just about food, even your environment, as we will find out. But what switches off these genes? What is protective? We found that plant-rich diet. Your animal protein is fine, but now we know that our animal proteins come from production lines. They use animal antibiotics. They use steroids, and these have traced their way into the food system. So if you live in the village, your cow feeds on grass and all that, it's fine. But if you live in the city and you eat all these things from production lines, it's not good. But we know that when you are sick, then plant diet really helps. Quality sleep. Remember, these are natural doctors. Plant-rich diet, exercise, movement is a natural doctor. Quality sleep is a natural doctor. Our God Jehovah created day and night. So that daytime you work and nighttime you sleep. So, and we have 24 hours. 8 hours are supposed to be for work, 8 hours for sleeping. And the other 8, you can do whatever else you want. But if you find that at the end of the day, you're sleeping 4 hours or 6 hours, what happened to the other 18 hours? Surely, can you even work that long? Then just that process of not having rest will switch off protective genes. Positive mindset and support will switch off. You have protective genes. It will switch off harmful genes, and now you have protective genes. So you understand, switching on is harmful, switching off is protective. So let me give you an example. So how eating too much protein affects your epigenetics. So remember, epigenetics are gene switches. It switches your genes off or on. So what you eat can turn some genes off and on. So I'm giving you an example. I'll give you an example of protein and an example of carbohydrates. So excess protein, especially from red meat and processed meats, can switch on genes linked to inflammation. Switch on genes that may promote cancer cell growth, especially colon cancer. Overload the body with nitrogen waste, stresses the kidney, affects gene activity in the kidney health, and definitely increasing a kidney function issue. So too much, and we're just saying too much, is often linked to harmful epigenetic changes. So you want to you can eat protein. We need protein. We always need a balance. We need to have some protein, no problem. But the question is how much? So are you the people who, when you come home, you cannot eat food without meat? And when there's no meat, it's not food? No, then that's a problem. So in other words, you can eat protein, but when should you eat protein? We recommend eating protein morning and daytime, but not at night. Because remember, some of the things you have to do, you have to sleep, you sleep so that you can turn off those harmful genes. So if you eat animal protein at night, then you don't sleep well. So ideally, you should remove animal protein at night and eat it for morning and lunch. That's if we eat it in every meal, or eat it once a week for breakfast, never at night. So plant proteins like beans, lentil, nuts, and seeds are generally protective and help switch off harmful genes while switching on health-promoting ones. So how often do we eat beans? How often do we eat lentils? How often do we need nuts and seeds? And of course, the vegetables and the like. So how about carbohydrates? Looks like I didn't put it on my slides. So you see, carbohydrates, those are like your starches. Your starches are carbohydrates. Your legumes are carbohydrates. Your fruits are carbohydrates. Dairy are carbohydrates. So when we take too much carbohydrates, it expresses your genes differently. For example, when you eat, your stomach actually produces hydrochloric acid to be able to digest the food. But what's been found is that when you eat too much carbohydrate, actually your eyes start to produce hydrochloric acid. Then you have a problem with your eye. And that's why also people who are diabetic, taking and have uncontrolled blood sugar, they always end up with an eye problem, because that too much sugar is a carbohydrate increasing. Hey, can you imagine hydrochloric production in your eyes? So if you have just eye problems, you have to check. In DTLC, some people say, oh, at the end of 12 weeks, they're like, I don't need my glasses anymore. I see very well. You can see Mr. Duor said, their skin is the basics, really. Just eating the right thing so that it can be expressed, your genes can be well expressed. So this is the example we wanted to give you for this. So in week 1, we want you to start thinking about your diet. You want to post your food. You want to start thinking about your diet. How is it affecting your genes? What have you been eating? Post your food pictures, ask questions. But one thing I'd like you to do is remove animal protein at night. So that is the challenge for the week. Remove animal protein at night. Eat it for breakfast or lunch, not at night. And so if you look at this chart here, it's not about your diet, it's your epigenetics. So are you switching off or are you switching on? So your diet is related to microbiome, and I'll talk about microbiome briefly. Your social interactions, very important for your epigenetic modulation. And these are some of the lessons that we have in DTLC. Okay? Therapeutic drugs. When you have too many drugs, it's dangerous for you. Okay? You can imagine if you're taking many drugs, and you know what will happen? You are going to be treated for diabetes. Then you'll be given something to protect your kidney. Then you'll be given something to protect your heart. You'll be given a diuretic. You'll be taking 10 tablets a day. Calculate 10 tablets a day times 30 days. Those are 300 pills. 300 pills, 2 months. That's like you're taking this much drugs. And so you can imagine the side effects of just this drug. So you need to know the drugs that you're taking. You need to know. You always need to ask your doctor, ask the pharmacist, what is this drug? Read about it. What are the side effects so that you know? Your psychological state or your state of mind is extremely important for your health. Are you stressed? You need to manage the stress. Okay? And then, of course, financial status. We don't talk much about it in this team, but maybe in the future we will in the reunions. How does that affect your health? Constantly. But there are ways that you can be able to reduce that load. So really, toxic chemicals. What toxic chemicals are you taking? What toxic chemicals are you taking? Okay? And disease exposure, exercise, diet. So let's talk a little bit about what is microbiome. So microbiome is a collection of trillions of tiny organisms, that is bacteria, fungi, viruses, and other microbes that live inside and on your body, especially in your gut. So you have healthy microbiome and you have unhealthy microbiome. Obviously, when we are eating poorly, then we have poor microbiome. When we eat healthy, we have healthy microbiome. So actually, there's a test that is done to check your microbiome, even just starting with your stool. What kind of stool do you have? All right. So why does microbiome matter? These microbes help you digest food and absorb nutrients. They produce vitamins like vitamin K and some B vitamins that protect you and provide the energy that you need. Okay? They train your immune system to protect you against infections. And they can influence your mood, your weight, and the risk of chronic disease. So, this is what your microbiome, but your microbiome is better when you eat a variety of food. So there's a session where we talk about this, but maybe I want to give it to you as a challenge now. For those who might not be joining, you can also benefit by doing this. Just go and watch a documentary called Hack Your Health. Hack Your Health is on Netflix. Watch it and learn more about microbiome and what you need to do. So some of the things we say, just eat a variety. Because in our communities and many places around the world, we all have our staple foods. Like let's say in this region of the world, we'll say there's a community that their staple food is potatoes. Another community, their staple food is, stiff cornmeal, which is what we call ugali. And so there are particular vegetables you eat with this ugali. There are particular foods you eat the potato. So you find that every meal has a potato. Potato is served with rice, or potato stew is served with rice. Vegetables, there's potato. Everything you eat, there's potato. That is you're just eating the same thing every day. And so you're not having a rich microbiome. So you either eat, and people eat cabbage, carrots, and spinach, perhaps, or sukuma wiki and cabbage, day in, day out. And you have so many. So let's start to list. You need to have at least 3 types of vegetables a week. If we start to name different vegetables, you will name them. You will name so many. In fact, why don't you just take 1 second and name the different vegetables as we talk? So I'll just give you an example. So we tend to eat the same thing based on our staple food, but we need to eat a variety. Okay? We need to eat a variety of foods, variety of vegetables, variety of fruit, variety of starches, variety of legumes, variety of nuts and seeds, not just eating black beans all the time or red kidney beans all the time. They all have phytochemicals that help you. And so if you want to have a healthy microbiome, then you have to do that. Also, microbiome can influence your mood, your weight, and risk of chronic conditions. Many years ago, I used to, I learned something. When you attend a conference, you always learn a new idea. And I had patients who had acidity, and this particular patient, whatever we do was not working, So one of them, I made them to go and deworm. How many of us deworm? And when he dewormed, he was like, "Kwanzi, adults do deworm." I'm saying, yes, because we deworm the children, but even you and me need to deworm. And so when he went and dewormed, that problem just disappeared like that, And then now we applied dietary intake. Unfortunately, sometimes some people have too much gas and acid and issues, and then we find out they have a colon cancer, they have a growth in the colon. And so this is why we have to start with what is the underlying cause? What do you eat? How do you eat? What types of food you eat? That is why microbiome matters. They help you digest food and absorb nutrients. That is, your body is healthy. You absorb, you eat your fruit, it absorbs everything. They produce, this microbiome, they produce vitamins. Some of them you don't have to take them, the body will produce. So something like vitamin K will prevent you from getting blood clots. And that is produced by your gut microbiome. And then they train your immune system to protect against infections, so you don't get infections. For example, if you're frequently getting upper respiratory tract infections all the time, chest infections, running nose all the time, then you know you have a low immune system. And you can prevent that for the whole family so that you don't always have to be given antibiotics for health. And they influence your mood, your weight, and the risk of chronic disease. Sometimes weight loss, I have found, is just changing your microbiome. Then it goes, your weight comes down. So remember, a healthy microbiome, a diverse good bacteria supports health and lowers disease risk. So an unhealthy microbiome dominated by harmful bacteria increases risk of diabetes, obesity, heart disease, and even cancer. So we want to, as much as this DTLC program is about diabetes, by the time we finish, it is about your health. And you're healthier, you protect, you have a better immune system, and so you prevent yourself from all these conditions. So we are not going to do a whole session on cancer. Yes, we can do a whole session on cancer for those who have cancer, but from this, you learn a lot and we have better health. How to feed your microbiome: eat high fiber foods and eat a variety, like we've said. Include fermented foods in your diet: yogurt, kefir, sauerkraut, kimchi. Limit processed foods, sugar, and unnecessary antibiotics. Don't just go and get it, okay? Your gut microbes are like a garden. What you feed them determines whether you grow health or you grow disease. I would like you to take this home. All right. So why this matters for DTLC? WhatsApp food pictures reinforce healthy switches. You know, because even you'll be looking and thinking, hey, tomorrow I don't want to put a picture like this. I want to improve how my plate looks like. And so you would like that. Fitness, education, and turns on protective genes. Stress management and community support silences disease genes, because that is the social network that has been known to actually improve your health, prevent cancers, and all those things. Every small step changes your health at the cellular level, like your cell. So your lifestyle is more powerful than your DNA. Genes load the gun, but your lifestyle pulls the trigger. Just remember this: your genes load the gun, but your lifestyle pulls the trigger. So DTLC is here to support your lifestyle so it doesn't pull the trigger on you. Thank you very much.
That was very powerful, eh? Now we get to the bottom of it. So did you see what happens at DTLC? There's so much to learn, eh? Went back to your anatomy class to learn about our microbes and how to load out. Genes load the gun, but lifestyle pulls the trigger. So how to have a healthy lifestyle. So you're welcome to join. And maybe just to clarify, Dr. Ojwang, what is the challenge? Let's just highlight that, the challenge for the week, whether we are in or not.
Yeah. What is the challenge for the week, Lydia? I just emphasized it.
Well, one, we want to avoid animal protein at night.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that's
Yes.
it. Let's try and have
And
our
then take steps. Make 10,000 steps every day, but you don't have to make 10,000 steps if you can't make 5. So start with 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, and increase it. So that is and remember, if you stop the animal protein, you're going to tell us next week, Monday, what you notice. We're not even going to tell you how you'll benefit. You tell us. In the group, we will put evidence why you should not eat animal protein at night. And please, I can tell you, just follow the rules. We said that we just want to follow the rules, and you will see the difference in 12 weeks. So start early. Don't wait to start at week 6. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. We asked for questions. I'm not seeing any on the chat. Does anyone have a question for the doctors?
I see a question here. It says, is the group platform created? I can't see WhatsApp group. So it's been created, and once you make your full payment, and provide information, complete the questionnaire, then we add you to the group. Remember that we also need data for us to succeed, because this program, it would be really nice if it was a national program. So we need data to be able to. So you need to complete the forms that you've been given, and then you will be added to the group. Yeah. I think Lydia has responded to that. Do I see any question? Yeah. Just confirm that you're talking about diabetes mellitus 2. So yes, type 2 diabetes is the one that can go into remission. Type 1 cannot be reversed, but also people with type 1 diabetes can benefit from the education that we provide here. Yes, already answered by Atieno. Animal
Okay.
protein includes mala. Mala is actually more of a carbohydrate, so please, you can have your mala. Yeah. Okay. Irene, you could be answering some of this. Yes, people name different vegetables. So just in a few minutes, we have broccoli, beetroot, cauliflower, 3, spinach, sukuma wiki, 5. Okay, green peas, 6. 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, 12, 13. So 15, 16, 17. So do we eat all this? You don't have to eat them all in a week. Yes. Victor Mbao, does animal protein exclusion at night include eggs? Yes. Eggs is an animal protein. Thank you. Can I join if I'm not diabetic? Yes, you can. But we'll have to coach you how to deal with that. Yeah.
Okay.
Please share the test you want us to. Okay, I'll just post it here in a minute. Thank you so much. Yes.
Okay, there are more questions.
Okay.
See,
Oh, sorry, read the question. I'm looking for the...
does animal protein exclusion at night include eggs?
Yes, we said that already just now. Yes. Do not
Okay.
eat eggs. It's an animal protein as well.
Okay.
Mhm.
Then I don't know if you answered, does it matter over how long the steps take?
Okay, I'm not sure. Can you
Does
just
it matter
elaborate
over
on
how
that?
long? When you mentioned the 10,000 steps, I don't know if Anthony wants to say, is it for one day or is it for over time?
Over time. So make it a habit to exercise regularly so that you're not missing any form of exercise. So just every single day, every single day. So at the end of the day, ideally, you should have 10,000 steps at least. But you can build up to get there so that you are managing at least 10,000 steps 5 days a week, Yeah.
Okay. All right. Could we
So
have
here
a
are the
guiding
blood tests.
okay. Could we have a guiding list of the types of food? It's clear most of us might be mixing them up.
Yes, so we actually, we do education. We really train you. We don't even provide those lists. We train you, and then is when we provide the list. So if you're joining DTLC, you will get the list, eventually. But you post your food, we observe your food for 2 to 3 weeks, you make the changes as you think how, and then we always use the food pictures that you give us to educate you. So the more food we post, the better the education. Yes. And then things like a list it's not a problem, but yes, we do provide. Yeah. But maybe as long as you're on the mailing list that Lydia shared, Lydia, we can share a list. But remember, it will help you with education because a list doesn't help you much. Yeah.
Okay. I think that's what George also said. It's the education that matters.
Yes.
Shopping list. Noah is asking. Do you have a shopping list?
Yeah, that is week 3. Yeah.
Okay. So you stay on the program, you'll get a shopping list. Is milk an
Yes.
animal protein? Prudence is asking. I think Dr. Jalango has said something.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's more
Yeah.
of a carbohydrate. Okay, see that answer, Prudence? Okay,
Mhm.
Prudence gets it. Prudence again asks, these steps, the 10,000, are they the lazy ones or the fast ones?
It doesn't matter. You can start lazy and then you have a rhythm. Yeah, as
Okay.
long as they are 10,000. That's exercise, whether you've been doing lazily. It means if you're doing lazily, you'll take longer to get the 10,000 steps. If you're working fast, you'll take a shorter time to get the 10,000 steps. But you'll find that if you've not been exercising for long, you start by, you'll find that you're taking a long time to make 10,000. So you just start slowly. 5,000 for 2 weeks, in 2 weeks, increase. Then before you know it, you're doing 10,000 steps. But make it a habit. have some days to rest. You can do Monday, Tuesday, rest on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, rest on Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So 2 days you're achieving 10,000 steps. Another day you can relax. So at least if you're resting 2 days a week, that's okay. So you can do it lazily 2 days a week, but rapidly every day, if that makes sense.
Victor, hold your horses. I think Lydia will address that in the last part in another few minutes. And the blood tests, what information do they reveal is what JM is asking.
Yes. Atieno, can you answer that, please? I've been talking a lot.
Yeah, thank you very much for asking that question. Who was that? JM, huh?
JM.
Yeah. So the blood tests are extremely important. Why? Because they are what guides us to where we should be in relation to your health. What is the condition of your heart? What is the condition of your kidneys? How is your blood in terms of your lipid profile, etc.? Now, you're getting into an intervention. We need to know where you're starting, what we call your baseline. Then, as we go on, we will want to know, have things changed? You see, if things have changed, then we know the intervention is having an impact, you see, and a positive impact at that. So those are important, but overall, those blood works will tell you where you are at in terms of your complications, because those are what diabetes essentially impacts: your kidney, your heart, your eyes, you know, everything. So it's important to know where you are at and not just be taking interventions or medication without knowing where you're starting at. And then after a certain period of time, you also need to recheck. At least every 3 months, you need to be checking that.
Okay, so that answers that. Do I need a gadget to count my steps? I think Faith has answered. We have a pacer app. Okay, we have just a few minutes to go. And one of the people, who is this who was asking? Victor was asking, do we still have the early bird? I think, Lydia, that's where you start. You are telling us about the investment for this season 11. Do tell us, Lydia.
Oh, yes. So good evening, everybody. We are so happy to officially launch DTLC 11, the Diabetes Total Lifestyle Change Program. We have officially started today. This is the beginning of week 1. And I want to assure you, if you haven't joined yet, it's not too late. From next week, the program will be a little bit different because it will only be available for those who have paid for the sessions. So yet again, it is not too late. This week, we already have a number of engaging activities lined up for the participants who have registered and paid, and we don't want you to miss out on this opportunity. So we encourage you to come on board as soon as possible. Let's talk about the enrollment. Well, we have shared the registration form on the chat. We'll share it again before we conclude. So feel free to take our contact, fill in, and then we'll contact you as soon as possible. So for the 12-week DTLC program, the cost is 30,000 Kenyan shillings. However, if you complete your registration and payment before this Friday, you will enjoy a special 20% discount. So without a doubt, this is the best time to make that decision for your health. Feel free to reach out to us directly. We'll be glad to guide you through the process. So take this step with us and let's walk the journey together. We look forward to seeing you next week as we start off officially. Thank you.
Thank you, Lydia. So make the investment and then you will know about being on the WhatsApp group, the PESA, all those answers will be there once you talk to Lydia and join the group. So as we wind up, it would be nice to just meet the team. I think you've met some of them. Dr. Jung, you have something to say?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay.
I wanted to answer the question on PESA. So
Yeah.
for the group, for the PESA group, for the DTLC 11 participants, we have a link which you're going to send and then you join so you can see everybody's steps, and that should encourage all of us, including all the trainers as well. And anybody else who's not joining and want to manage, you can still download the app on your own, and you can use it to count your steps and monitor your movement. So yeah, there's a free version and a paid version, but many other steps. Most of the phones we have already have a step tracker. You know, your iPhone, your Samsung, whatever it is that you have already has a tracker. So you can still manage your 10,000 steps. Yeah, so just check your phone. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, great. So since you had your hand up, we're introducing the team. So starting with you, tell us who you are and why we should join the program.
Well, we should join the program. I think I already said that. My name is Dr. Alice Ojang. I'm a dietitian by profession. I partly lecture at the Technical University of Kenya, training nutritionists to be able to support the nation. And nutrition is my passion, really. So join the program so that you can benefit from it and support your family. And also support the program if you know where we can get money so that the cost of the program can be lower and lower so that we have more people joining. You can also tell us, you can also support us. Thank you so much.
Okay, that's the founder of DTLC. Thank you very much, Dr. Joan. We also met Miss Atieno Jalango, passionate about DTLC. Tell us who you are and why we should join, or give us some nice parting shot.
Oh gosh, Lorraine, thank you very much. Good evening once again. My name is Atieno Jalango. I'm a diabetes care and education specialist and also specialist in public health. I've had over 25 years managing diabetes, most of it at Kenyatta National Hospital, and now in the digital sphere. I'm passionate about caring for people with diabetes, and especially when it comes to lifestyle. I have seen what lifestyle can do. One, the impact lifestyle had on my own life and made my health have a turnaround for the better. And I'm glad that by the grace of God, I've been able to keep a lot of the principles that I learned, and they have been beneficial even now when I'm struggling with menopause. Those factors still play a role. Lifestyle is powerful. Do not underestimate lifestyle. But one thing I'll always tell you, lifestyle does not cost you much. A good, healthy lifestyle does not cost you much. But when we make poor choices in terms of our lifestyle, they have a great, great impact on our health negatively. So, an investment like this is great for you, but always remember the focus is you, whether you carry it on for the rest of your life or not. Because to make good value of your investment, remember this is not just a lifestyle change, but a life change.
Life change. Thank you very much. Thanks for that. We appreciate. Our resident doctor is Dr. Nyawera, who is not in today, but we shall get to meet her as the program progresses. And then we have another nutritionist on board, and that is Irene Otieno, all the way from Canada, is it?
Yes, but I'm in Nairobi now.
Oh, welcome to Nairobi.
Yeah, so I'll be joining this session. I'll be here for a few weeks. So I'll be joining session 10 in Nairobi. I mean 11 in Nairobi. So my name is Irene Otieno. I'm a dietitian from Toronto, Canada. My primary areas of practice were inpatient clinical, and I've also done some outpatient and worked with patients with diabetes and done group diabetes education classes for outpatients. And I'm just going to speak more from a personal level. About 10 years ago, I was about 25 kilos overweight and went through a weight loss journey and a lifestyle change journey after having two children. And through that journey, through when I was turning 40, I was pre-diabetic and basically hypertensive. And after losing 25 kilos and maintaining it, I 13 years later, I am on no medication and living a healthy lifestyle as a 53-year-old woman. So I know from personal experience that lifestyle interventions are key and they don't cost you anything. I live in Toronto where healthcare is free. People don't pay for it. And they're struggling with the same issues that we are here. Diabetes, hypertension, all these chronic diseases are rampant. The only difference is that people don't have to pay out of pocket for them. So cost is never really an issue. And I think that sometimes that can be a detriment to people's motivation. But when you have to spend thousands of dollars on your healthcare, and there's a solution to prevent it from happening. You don't have to pay anything. If you reverse your diabetes and you're not ending up in dialysis or hypertension leading to a stroke, it's free. You don't have to pay anything for it. So I as a dietitian and as somebody who has lived the lifestyle change, I'm excited that you are having this opportunity to be able to make a positive health impact on your life that would not only impact you in the short run, but will likely extend your life, improve your quality of life, improve your just longevity, how you feel, how you interact on a day-to-day basis. So as a nutritionist in this program, I'm really, really excited to be part of this journey with you.
Thank you. You're very fortunate you don't pay for medical bills. We are struggling with SHA here. You'll get to know what that is.
Yeah, no, I've been hearing about it, and I really feel for the people who, going through, I can't imagine going through healthcare, going through dialysis and not being able to pay for it.
We're sorting it out.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. And then the person who puts everything together, Lydia, let us meet you. Let's see the person behind the names and the emails.
Here I am. So my name is Lydia Muragori. I am the admin for DTLC or Diabetes Nutrition Center. I am all matters communication. The number we just shared, when you call, when you WhatsApp, I am on the receiving end. So I welcome you. Kindly feel free to contact me, reach out to me with any questions. I will be able to answer, or the doctors will be able to answer, or the nutritionists will be able to answer. So feel free to reach out to me. Welcome to DTLC 11.
Thank you. The face behind the DNC, eh? Okay. And on that note, please talk to JM. I think he wants to talk to you behind the tent. So look for him and talk. And then finally, I think we have Faith. I saw Faith somewhere. Please let us meet you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Faith Misheni. I've been part of DTLC as a nutritionist assistant. And what I'd like to say is change begins now. So you're welcome to join DTLC season 11. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Faith. She does the analysis of the foods. So she shall help you to know how to get it right according to that presentation we've just had this evening. So it's been really nice being with everybody. Thank you, panelists, for giving us a good start to the season 11. We are happy to meet you all. We're happy that the participants joined us. Thank you for the engagement on chat. Thank you for talking to us. We truly appreciate. So as you have heard, managing diabetes is about small, consistent choices, one step at a time towards a healthier life. And healthier life is what we talk about at DTLC. So we look forward to seeing you next week. Talk to Lydia. Let us clear whatever needs to be cleared. And let us be here next week, same time, and work on getting on with the program. Thank you, everybody, for your commitment. And we look forward to seeing you. Have a good night.